And we are live. This is another episode of the Faddah Figures podcast. Um, as always, we have Chris, James, and myself, Kevin, here today of the first podcast of 2023. Um, wow, it's been a while, gentlemen. How
I think
is everyone?
the last one we did, I think, was in October.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, that's when you guys had your kids, your new babies.
Yeah,
Congratulations, by the way.
thank you. Oh,
You know, I would ask how you're doing, James, but you had Maddie not too long ago, so you know you, I don't want to say it's like you're used to it, but
He's an expert,
you've
really.
already experienced a little bit of you already experienced that part with Maddie, but for you, Chris, it's been what 6 years
Yeah, 6 years.
since Shazen was born. So, if anything, I want to ask you how you're doing with um, baby Shayla. Give us an
Honestly,
update.
honestly, it's like I don't want to say easy. I don't want to make it sound like it's like easy, but it's like it's almost like riding a bike. Like you just get into it and you're like yeah. Even though it's been 6 years, it's like oh yeah, like we've done this before. Like even with her personality being so different from Shazen's, where she's more like outgoing, vocal, crazy. It's like it's just we've experienced it, and it's just like you just kick into it, and you're like, oh yeah, we've done this. So,
When you had Shazen, were you still working the same job that you're working now?
we worked for somebody when we had Shazen.
But you're still doing carpentry.
Yeah, we're doing construction.
Oh, construction. But I mean, but for somebody else.
Yeah.
And now, so how is it different now that you have your own company?
It's just like easier just because our schedules are more flexible. Like we're able to make our own schedules, so we can kind of move things around. And if we need time off, we kind of just make sure we schedule it in there.
And you guys just like share. I mean, I guess as responsibilities as much as you can. I mean, especially because I mean,
I think
obviously when you're
Shani,
working, she's watching her.
yeah, well, she's watching Shayla a lot. Like
Yeah.
I think she holds a lot of the responsibilities early on. Even with Shazen, like she did a lot of stuff on her own. Yeah, and yeah, that her main, I guess, job description is being a mom, and in between that, she does work.
Fair enough. And what about you, James?
dude, I'm like
Why
the
don't you?
total opposite. Like when Maddie was born, dude, I was gone the first year.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah,
true.
I didn't I was literally gone.
So
Like,
this
I
is
didn't
like
deal with
actually,
any. So like, Austin is literally my first go around. Like, so when
yeah,
Austin was
that's
born,
right. That's right.
Diana was like, "You're it, tag." Like, all right, I got this. Freaking not thinking like I was gone for the first year of Maddie's life. Like I didn't like Austin still wakes up every hour and a half, 2 hours, like clockwork. Like I don't get sleep because I told her I was like, all right, I got this. I was like, you don't have to wake up at night. From when I get home, it's daddy time. That's why I told you like, dude, I might be a little late because I'm like, I put him to sleep, I watch him, she handles Maddie, gives her a bath, and then they both go to sleep, and then whatever. And I wake up all throughout the night and try to put him back to sleep. And man, it's draining, dude. Like Maddie, she. So I was with her for like 2 months. It was me and Diana, and we were together for 2 months before I left for about a year. Um, so and then when I left, like a week later, Diana told me, "Oh, Maddie's sleeping the whole night." So I was like, "Oh, freak!" Like, so I want to say she didn't have it easy because she was still by
She had
herself,
it good. She had
but
it good.
sleeping it was good. Um,
Yeah.
but she still had to deal with everything else by herself, which is nuts. Um, But man, the sleeping, man, I'm like every night I'm like, is this gonna be the night that he sleeps? Like he's had spurts like 5 hours,
Like,
7 hours, and I was
so
like, oh my god, tonight's it was it. Tomorrow he's gonna sleep 7 hours. Nope, he tricked me. I'm like, I didn't do anything different, so I don't know why you slept that long last night. Like I'm doing everything the same, and just everything else too. Like I pick up after work, I pick up Austin first from daycare. Then I drive to pick up Maddie, and then I'm in traffic all the way back home. Austin usually cries the whole way home. Um, so that's draining in itself. Um, but yeah, I'm drained, man. I
and you have and you got to deal with work too, right?
yeah, and work and um yeah. And Diana, she comes straight here, so she doesn't have to pick up the kids. She gets dinner ready. So when we get home, me and Diana just scarf dinner real quick, and then we'll try to feed Maddie, feed Austin, and then we do our night routine. Like Austin gets a bath around 7, Maddie gets a bath around 7:30 if we can, and then Austin's usually in bed by 8:30 depending, and then Maddie's asleep by 9, and then we either go straight to sleep after or try to do some work if we have energy. Um, and then I usually wake up around 4 because I can't keep waking up every hour and a half, 2 hours. So around 4 o'clock, I'm usually just up. I just stay up.
So, I mean, would you say you guys got a pretty good set routine by now, or
Yeah,
or is it always evolving?
I would say it's a set routine, but the routine sucks. The sleeping thing's the only one. I mean, my body's getting used to it, but I'm like, man, I'm just drained. Like and then I feel bad. Like I have drill this weekend, so Diana has both kids, all by herself. So I feel for her, because it's nuts. Maddie, she's still a baby, man. Like she's very needy, so it's hard. And then Austin's obviously needy. So having both of them by yourself,
Yeah.
it's draining. Like yeah.
Do you think? Do you? I don't want to use the word regret, but do you think? Do you think you guys gave Maddie too much attention at one point, so she needs too much attention? Like, do you? And I don't want to say wish, but do you think like if you give her less attention and like
I
made
think
her a little bit more self-efficient?
she knows how to play by herself, but I think she's a very social butterfly. She just like playing with people. Like even when she meets random strangers, she just loves talking to people. Like she's a total extrovert. So there's times where she'll just play by herself and it's fine. But then she has her moments where she's like, she just wants to play with people. Like it gets boring, man. You can't just play by yourself 8 hours all day. Like, I don't even want to do that as an adult. Like you gotta talk to people. So she has her moments where she's like, hey mom, play with me. It's like she's a kid. Like, yeah, I'll go play with you. It's not to the point where like when I say needy, I think of kids where like you go to a party and the kid's like attached to your hip. Like that's what I think of when they're like, oh, you give them so much attention they can't be withdrawn from you. Like we go out, Maddie's she's everywhere. She talks to grandpa, auntie. She don't need us. She just likes talking to people. So when it's just Diana here, she ain't got no one else to talk. She ain't gonna talk to Austin. Like she'll talk to Austin for a little bit, but he ain't saying nothing. So she'll be like, hey mommy, play with me. Or she'll like bring her books, like, mommy, I'm gonna read you a book, or that kind of stuff. Like she just wants to interact because there's only so much, like, she watches YouTube for maybe an hour. Like that's old, gets old. She'll watch TV for a little bit, gets old. So she wants to do stuff. And it's hard too, because like we don't take her out as much. Because it's just so much work with Austin and her, and just it's just a lot of work. So we do feel bad. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be, but I don't think we gave her too much attention, and to us,
Or do you think you stressed yourself out too much because you got like because like Shazen, like when Shani was watching him, when Shani watches him, like before Shazen started school, Shazen would be home with her, and so she'd have to like work right during the day, and she'd have times where Shazen would be like, oh mommy, like I want to do something, I want to do this, but she would make sure like he understands, like, all right, give me an hour to finish my work, or give me like whatever amount of time I need to finish my work, and then when I'm done, then we'll play or whatever.
That's easy, I guess, if you're working, but it's the weekend. Like
Yeah,
she's not
well,
gonna. Yeah,
even like we do that with shit. Like even like we do that like in any situation.
yeah,
If me and her like just don't want to, and then it sounds bad, but if me and her like need time to like decompress and we don't want to interact with him, we'll be like, dude, just zip it for like 30-40 minutes, and we'll do what you want to do after. But right now, like we
yeah.
just need to like chill.
I think with us, like our weekends are our family day,
Uh
so
huh.
we try because Monday through Friday, dude, we don't really spend time with them. Like literally, our routine is I see Maddie if she wakes up before I go to work, but I'll see Austin because he's usually up, and then I'm gone to work, and then Maddie comes down. She doesn't see me, so I don't see her till I pick her up, which is like 4, and then
Yeah.
I'm in traffic for an hour. By the time we get home, it's like 5:30, and then our routine starts. Like we're eating, we're not really interacting with her. I feed her. Um, so like Monday through Friday, we don't really interact except just being here. Like even with me and
Mhm.
Diana, we're just going through the motions. We don't really have that time to like sit down. Like even when we're eating, we're just scarfing it because we need to eat quick because we need to feed Austin, we need to feed Maddie, make sure she's fed, get them cleaned, get them in bed because we know if we don't get them in bed in those times, they're gonna get real grouchy, and then that's gonna drag on the whole night. So our weekends is the time where it's like we wake up whenever we want, if whatever we're up. So that's the time we really try to like spend time with her because dude, she's gonna turn 3 in March, and I'm like, I know there's gonna be a time where she's not gonna want to play with me anymore. There's gonna be that time, so we try to like some people might say like, oh, you might be giving her too much attention, but I'm gonna bet there's gonna be a time where she's not gonna want any of my attention, and it's gonna come sooner than I want. Um, so I mean, I already see it now. Like sometimes she doesn't want. She's like, I don't want to play with you. I'm like, oh, okay, fine. Like, go play with someone else then. Like, um, so even though as tiring it is when she's like, play with me, and it gets annoying. Um, me and Diana, we're on that same level of like, hey, we need to spend time with her. Um, she wants to spend time with us. Let's spend time with her. Because we don't want her to feel like, I don't know, like I feel like she understands when we're busy, so she doesn't do it as much. Like I said, she's just bored. Like I'm not gonna like we feel bad. Like we don't want to scold her when she's like, play with me, when we're like, dude, you've been on the iPad for an hour, you watch TV for an hour, and now you want us to play with you, and we're gonna scold you. Like, stop it. Like, I don't play with you right now. Like, I don't want her to feel like, dude, like, like as a parent, like I want to play with her. I want to read her books. I want her to read to me. I want to let her put makeup on me. Like I want to interact with her, let her be a kid, especially her being the only child right now. Like once Austin, I feel like is bigger, I feel like that'll be nicer because they can actually play together. Um, and it'll be a little bit better, but it's just because Austin is a baby. Like we constantly have to hold him or he'll cry. He's a very cuddler, totally different from Maddie. We can put her in her bouncer. She's fine. Austin, he doesn't like to be in his bouncer. His skin's very sensitive, so he's constantly scratching himself, cutting himself up. Even if we had gloves, he'll suck on it. Now he's rubbing his saliva constantly, so it's irritating his skin. So we always have to hold him and just kind of hold him down until his skin. Hopefully, the water softener system that we installed, like that, will help. It looks like it's helping a little bit more. Um, but I think it's just, I know for us, our weekends are very important. Uh, we told ourselves, hey, the weekends, it's our time to really spend time with family. Because Monday through Friday, we're just going through the motions. It's just a blur. And then Saturdays is just errand day, grocery shop, get whatever errands we got to get done. So Saturdays really are spend time. We go to the grandparents, let the grandparents, play with Maddie and everything. Like that's our family day. Um, but but don't get me wrong. There's times where I tell her like, hey, daddy's busy. Like, give me like 10 minutes and I'll play with you. Um, but then I feel guilty, because it's like,
But
I
I feel
get
like you
it.
can't feel guilty though. Like I feel like you can't feel guilty though.
No, I know. Me and Dinah, we obviously know we need our time, but I feel I guess to me and Dinah, we understand like we're the adults. We can decompress right now when they're asleep. Like we know how to manage our time. We're adults. So like we don't want to get to a point where I'm like, look, I don't want to look at you. I don't want to talk to you right now. Like if it gets to that point where like, well, something's up. Like what's going on? If you really need that time, then go take the car, go run or do something. Um, but I don't ever want to portray to Maddie or Austin that I don't want to play with him, no matter how tired I am. I want to hide it because it's just I don't know. I just feel I don't know, like you said, I just feel guilty. Um, Even though I know, like you said, I shouldn't, because um, you have to take care of yourself first. Because if you're not good yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of your kids. I totally understand that concept, but I think we try to focus. Me and Dinah, we try to focus that time of okay, our time to ourselves. Like for me, is right now. He's asleep, so I'm like, that's my time to like just sit on the couch, watch some Netflix, let me decompress. Dinah does it when she's asleep. Maddie probably going to be sleeping about the next 10 minutes. She'll come down. She'll grab a coffee or something, decompress if she needs to. She'll sit on the couch. I'll give her a massage if her feet hurts. That's our time to just kind of wind down the day before we go to sleep. Like that's kind of what we look forward to. Like the kids are asleep, great. Dishes are washed. Everything's all clean. We packed everything for the next day. Nothing else to worry about except just like let's catch up on that show. Like I guess that's our time to decompress. It's just hard because throughout the day it's like constant like it's harder for Diana because I'm an extrovert, so it's a little bit easier for me. I like human interaction. Not to say Diana doesn't, but like being an introvert, like when you spend time with people, you get drained. Yeah, I kind of feed off of let's
Yeah,
but
you
at the
feel
same
off
time
then.
there's only so much I can do. So there's times where like I feel bad for Diana. Like Austin's crying, and I'm just holding him. I'm just like, oh, and Maddie's like hugging my arm, like play with me, and it's just loud in the house, and I could just see Diana like, man, this is just too much right now. So like I can see it in her. Um, so I'll try to like, hey, like come on, Maddie, let's calm down, like, um, but dude, that's what being a parent's about, man. I feel, if you're not tired, you're doing something wrong. You're either not doing enough or you're doing. I just feel, or your kid is just golden. You got the golden child.
I just feel like you're always stressed out. That's why every time we see you, like you're always stressed about it.
Yeah,
Where
I
like
think.
we're just like super chill. Like
Yeah, I think I'm stressed because I'm drama. Yeah,
that is true.
it's like I'm stressed, but it's like like
Yeah.
when we work out, I'm not really fucking. I mean, I'm tired, but I'm not like, oh, my arm's about to fall off. Like, come on, that's just me. So when I
Yeah,
say like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
That's true.
stressed, like I'm not really stressed. Like I am
Yeah,
stressed, but it's not to the point where I'm
You're just dramatic. You're just
like I need to
dramatic.
talk to like a therapist, like something mentally wrong with me. Like I'm
yeah,
just like it's just my way of. I'm an extrovert. I like to verbalize stuff to the point where
Exaggerate.
it's not true, but it is true. But it's like,
Okay, you stretch
God.
the truth.
Yeah, like come on, guys, you've seen me at CrossFit. Like seriously, like everyone
yeah.
knows if you've seen me at CrossFit. Like, God, James, stop fucking complaining. Like, it's like, bro, it's only been 3 minutes into the workout and you're tired already. It's like, I'm tired, but it's just me. I'm just like, oh God, dude, what time is it? Oh, what round is this? Like, that's just me, man.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
the same
yeah,
way with my kids.
yeah, 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 and yeah, we know that.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's like,
knows
oh
that.
my God, Maddie. Oh my God, Austin, it was so hard. I had to get my bat out of rock and put him down. And it's just, yeah, I think that's just my
No, yeah, that's your
personality.
personality. Like, I think we would be concerned if you weren't like that.
Yeah. If I was quiet,
Yeah, then
that's when for real, it's when I'm quiet, it's like, what's up? Like that's when
yeah, yeah,
Diana,
yeah, yeah.
she knows like if I'm very quiet, I'm non-responsive, I'm not animated, you can just tell. She knows like, oh man, he's
Dealing with
stressed out
something.
about
Yeah,
something, or he's just very drained. It could be sleep, I could be
yeah,
sleep.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Even when I'm sick, I'm just quiet. I'm just like, oh, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that
so I
sounds
think
about
that's
right.
just yeah. Like when you guys like, James, you're always stressed out about stuff. Like, I am, but not really. That's just me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, that's just you. No,
yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, but I know what you mean, man. Like, I have almost the exact schedule you have, and I only have one child,
Yeah.
and I have that same exact schedule. Like the whole week. The Finn is with the in-laws during the day. I mean, like, I see, like every day, D wakes up at
Hmm.
5 in the morning. She gets ready, does whatever she needs to do, and then I wake up at 5:45. I change Finn's diaper, get him ready, take him downstairs, take him to the car. She gets in the car. They leave before
Hmm.
6 o'clock, and then she heads down to the in-laws, drops him off. Then she got to go to work, and then I leave. Yeah, I leave like around 6:15 to go to work, and we're both working during the day, and then when we finish, we will pick him up, and then by the time we take him home, I mean it's like 7, yeah, like around 7 o'clock, and yeah, we got to do the same thing. We got to thankfully the in-laws, they give him a bath, and
Hmm.
they feed him for the most part. Sometimes they don't. If they don't, then we just do it when we get home.
Yeah.
But when we get home, and then we gotta eat, and we gotta make sure we got. That's, I guess, that's our decompressing time,
Yeah.
and then the weekends, yeah, Saturdays, that's your errand. Yeah, we go get groceries or whatever we need to do, and then Sunday, yeah, we just spend time as a family. So yeah, I know what you mean as far as
It's
like.
tough, man. It's I and I don't know how you do it, Chris. Like you got your own business. Like it's
That's why when you
and you got
stress
all
out
the
a lot, that's why
sports.
when you stress out a lot, I look at Shannon and be like, dude, this guy has no idea
Yeah, like
what
you,
he
you
thinks
like
of
you have
Maddie.
your business, you have sport, man. If it got to the point where I'm like, look,
Oh yeah,
you're not gonna be no superstar, all right?
he
You're
doesn't
not
even
playing
want
every
to
game of
know.
sport.
He doesn't even want to know our schedule. Like our schedule is non-existent. Like ours one's like we don't have a schedule because everything is like so up in the air, and that's kind of like the good thing about owning your own business is like you kind of just fit things in when you have free time. So Shani will go grocery shopping whenever she doesn't have anything for
Yeah,
work in the day. Um, like this past when Shazen had, and this is all when Shazen's in kindergarten, and he has no homework. Me and Shani are looking at each other like, bro, what are we gonna do when this kid has homework? Because we don't even have time to do anything after school because of sports. Like once he has homework, we're like, bro, I'm gonna be doing his homework for him. Like this isn't there's no time for him to do homework. I was like, we're gonna have to write the teachers and be like, we're gonna have to excuse Shazen from homework because he's an athlete and he just doesn't
oh
have
no,
time
don't
to
be
like
that parent, Chris.
He's an
Don't
athlete.
be that parent, Chris. Do not.
Like,
Because
he's
I
like,
see
what?
those kind of kids right now in 5th and 6th grade, and I'm like, bro, you're gonna have a rough road ahead of you because you have a reading level of a freaking 3rd grader, and you're in
Well,
sixth
if
grade.
Shazen knows the stuff, I'll
You're
be
not
like,
even
he doesn't
that
have to do his
athletic.
homework.
Like I don't know who's telling you you're athletic, but you ain't athletic, dog. And you have a bad attitude, and you have a rough ahead of you in middle school. And I hope you turn around because you're not at my school anymore. Bye. Happy life.
But it's like
Like,
I'm never scared when they start giving homework because I'm like, man, this is gonna be too crazy.
I don't,
Because he
like,
practices in Mililani too, so like we're in Mililani for baseball 4 days
dude,
out of the week.
I don't know. Like Diana has a friend. Their kids play baseball. I literally feel like they play almost every day.
Yeah,
Like every time Diana's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna try to plan something," it's like, "Oh no, they have baseball that day." I'm like, I feel
yeah,
like they have baseball like not every day, but like all day. Like the weekends, it's like all day. I'm like, because they have 2 kids, so one kid plays and the other kid plays.
yeah.
They're just at the park and then they gotta practice. I'm like, I tell myself like I want Maddie to play sports, but
It's
like
rough. It's
I
rough,
don't know if I'm gonna be the type of person where I'm like, look, I'm not gonna be spending all day at the park for you to play soccer. Like
bro.
I'm down for you to play a sport, but if you don't look like you're loving it, sorry, it looks like it's one season hitter for you or whatever. Like I'm not gonna like, and I could be wrong, but I just I don't know. We got stuff we got to do, man. I ain't trying to be sitting
But
out there.
I think the difference is like I've played sports
Yeah,
my whole life, and I've realized that the the life lessons you learn from sports, not just the actual sport lessons, but the
yeah,
life lessons you learn from it, I think benefited me more than actual school. Like school, yes, taught me how to read and write the basics, but I feel like the discipline from sports and the leadership skills and the like the following order skills, I feel like that that prepared me to run a business more than any school could have ever taught me.
Like you saying that the school failed you, because if you go to a good school, they will prepare you. They will give you opportunities to lead. They will
I
give
don't know though.
no, Chris. If you have a
I
good
don't
teacher,
I
know.
well,
you're
okay.
gonna find opportunities.
Let me chime in for
Yeah,
just for the. I mean, okay. When I agree with Chris when it comes to sports, any kind of team sports
yeah,
definitely uh, instills certain
And
values
it's not, and
within
I need to
you that
clarify
you
though,
can
it's
take.
not any
Um,
team. Like, you need to be on a very good team where they focus on discipline
yeah,
and like working together. Like, I've seen
yeah,
teams that just suck at
yeah,
discipline, and those kids aren't going anywhere. I was
no, yeah,
lucky
yeah,
enough
yeah.
to be a part of a very good teams where discipline was very involved, and
yeah.
they held us
No, no,
accountable.
but I just think
The culture.
I'm just saying team sports in general. I mean, like some, um, yeah, certain teammates and coaches can definitely shift the type of values that you're getting. But yeah, team sports is definitely important because like when, you know, like when we like for my company when we interview candidates, a lot of times they'll put that they played a team sport in high school, and I find that very valuable because if that means like they have some kind of discipline, they know how to work well with people, or I mean they know how to um take direction. They you know what I mean, there's like a multitude of characteristics and values you can learn from playing in team sports. So I do agree with you on that,
Yeah, there's
Chris.
like intangibles that, and I'm telling you, man. I mean, maybe it was, but I went to Millennium High School, which was the best public high school at the time when I was going there, and I think they still might be like academically one of the best public schools out there.
But there's a difference between a good academic school than a good school. So like academic just means you know how to read, write, do math, memorize formulas. You're a good test taker. That's all that tells me when a school is
But then why grade that, and then why advertise that as Millennium High
well
School being the
because
top
that's what
academics?
everyone because that's what gets into college.
Then the
That's
system's broken.
society.
Then the system's
I look
broken.
at school as a whole child. Like my elementary school, we don't look at obviously we want our kids to be able to read on grade level because come on, like that's that's a stepping rock. If you can't read on grade level, it's gonna hinder you. The next grade, as you get older, you're not gonna be able to understand, you're not gonna be able to comprehend because
Yeah.
you don't know what words mean. So obviously academic is important, but at our school, we really focus on soft skills as far as mental, social understanding, like, hey, like we want you to be a good person in society, whatever that means to you,
Yeah.
whether it's
So,
you want to be a
so
plumber.
is that only your school though, or is that
No,
something like
I
that
mean,
the
I would
DOE
hope
pushes?
every school is like, but every school is different. That's why I was like, it. That's why when you said that, I feel like your school failed you. They probably focused a lot about you got to be good at math, reading, science. Like you just got to be good at
I feel like
memorizing
that's what a lot
academic.
of schools push though. I feel like your
Well,
school might be one
I
of the
feel
rare
like
occasions.
a lot of schools push that because that's what gets recognized. No one gets recognized for someone saying, "Wow, that kid
So then
has
the system's
really good
broken. Do you
teamwork
agree that
skills."
the DOE system's broken? Literally,
It, and it
like
and it is, and it
to the
is.
core, it's
It
broken.
it, to, it totally is. It ranks schools on test scores, like, and it's bad. But as a school, the philosophy should be as a whole child. Our job is to grow the child. Whether like I feel like as an elementary school, our school, we focus on we want you to like learning, whatever that is. We want you to have the joy of learning because if you can enjoy learning, you're going to be good at life because you're going to have to learn everything, regardless if it's math, regardless if it's mechanics. You want to be, a plumber, you want to be a carpenter. If you can harness learning, which is a hard skill to do because you got to find out what kind of learner are you? Are you a tactile learner? Are you a visual learner? Are you an audio learner? We try to focus on teaching students, look, there's multiple ways to
I
learn.
think your
You
school
need
is
to
very
understand
rare
the
though in that case. I think your
well,
school is like
that's
one of
that's
the
probably why
very
test
rare.
scores aren't that great
But
because
your school. I think your school is probably like very like slim. the other school that you used to work at, that we won't name, did they share the same?
The other school
values?
I would say that I worked at was just trying to stay afloat because our clientele was a little different.
Okay.
So every school is a little different. Certain clientele, yes, you want to do those things, but at the end of the day, like, you got to get them to read. And if you don't, we're lucky enough where my current school, my admin is very good on, like, hey, yes, we want our scores to be good, but our scores don't dictate who we are as a school.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel, oh, our kids are only at 30%. Yes, they're at 30%. We should strive to be better, but that's not who we are as a school. We are the only people that know our students. No one else knows our students, our community. So as long as we know that our students are growing, they know who they are as learners and know what struggles they have, and that we want to push them to understand that learning is hard and you have to push through it. It's a process, it's a journey, and we want to harness that so when they leave our school, no matter whatever school they go to, they know that, look, this is the kind of learner I am. This is I've had hard times and I've pushed through it, and this hard time I'm going to push through that too. Like, that's our goal. Um
I also feel like it's hard because you could have a principal or a leader of the school that has that values, but each individual teacher and
True.
classroom is also
Culture.
different.
You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. So it's the culture. So I think our school, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say every teacher in our school
Oh
is
yeah.
like the
No,
best teacher. There's no school like that.
yeah.
But I believe my school, we have a very good culture where
Uh,
everyone has a buy-in. Like, there are times where I feel like, man, why are we talking about this again? Like, why are we talking about our mission? Like, I feel like you're a teacher already. You're home. You should know why you're a teacher. But um, I think it's good to always go back to the groundwork of, like, why are we here at this school? Our mission. This is our mission, and she always, no matter what we are doing as a school, she always brings it back to our mission, our vision for our students and the community here. This is why we're here, and this is why the decisions that are being made that you might not agree with, but in the end zone, it's going to help our students, whether you like it or not. And I feel like even though teachers might not agree with it, the decision, the culture here at our school is to the point where it's like, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it 100%. I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm going to do it 100%, even though I don't agree with it, because I trust my leadership and I trust that this is the way we have to go. Um, and we don't just bring anybody to the school. Um, I feel like we have really good recruitment to the point where, like, people want to come to our school to teach and to be a part of it. But like you said, it's hard, man. We have kids that barely can read, and it sucks. Um, but at the end of the day, you know, I feel there's only so much teachers can do in the classroom. We can be the best teacher. You can be the best teacher in the world, but the moment that kid goes home and it doesn't, whatever that the teacher culture in the classroom is not portrayed at the home life, she's just playing catch up. She can't build off of, like, man, today we had such a good day in class. That kid comes back the next day, you might be 4 days behind because it's that kid's home life could be, it could be divorce. Parents might not be neglect. The parents might work 3 jobs, so they don't have time to do helping them with their homework, or they're trying to freaking provide food on the table. So there's so many different circumstances. It's hard, and you could see night and day which kid has a good environment at home, parents are involved, and which kids that don't have the ideal environment at home. It's literally night and day when you see them at school. I literally, I can go to any school and I'll point them out. Be like, you know what? I bet you that kid has a very good environment at home. Not to say that doesn't mean they have money or anything. It's just they have a very good foundation of, like, the kid has a loving family. They care in their own way and they support him or her. And um and it's sad because at a young age, when they don't have that support, they're going to be so behind in the different grades, and once they get to middle school, it's too late. And that's why once they get to middle school, man, you have these outrage fights, them getting into stuff that they shouldn't be getting into, because it's like, they feel like no one cares for them. Like, whatever, man, I'm gonna do whatever the heck I want. And it's sad. And then once they get to high school, they're freaking adults, man.
But
It's so hard to freaking.
it's weird because so when you say that though, I feel like so on a sports team, so like on our sports team, we'd have the same diversity group of kids, right, from all different backgrounds. But I feel like once that culture is set in that team aspect, and we're only practicing like 2.5 hours a day, but I feel like a lot of us when we grew up, like we still have that same values, even though we came from different backgrounds, like you're saying, where some of us had like parents that weren't as involved because they had to work or whatever,
Yeah,
and some that were. But and I'm not saying the coaches were better teachers than the teachers, but I just feel like the system and the culture that the team sports puts you in is very beneficial. And like I
I
said, I go back and I feel like team sports all the years of I played a lot of team sports a lot for my life, but I feel like that prepared me to run a company more than school ever could have, even if I
I
was in a good school
I
system.
absolutely agree. And to me, it's not just sports. You could be in anything. It's anything that's team related. It could be debate. It could be chess. Anything that where you're on a team and you're critically thinking, is gonna
Yeah,
help you because it's gonna
yeah,
help you figure. It's gonna help you deal with loss. It's gonna
yeah,
help you deal with challenges. It's gonna help
yeah.
you working within a team,
And problem
strategize.
solving
All
together
those
with each
different
other.
things where
Yeah,
I have, even though I'm part of a team, I have a role in this
yeah,
team that I have to exercise to the
yeah.
best of my ability for the team to succeed. Um, so to me, I think it should be mandatory for every kid to do some type of, not like I said, it doesn't have to be sport, but some type of extracurricular activity.
Extracurricular and
Um,
stop from work after school so we have time to do these extracurricular
yeah,
activities.
but it's hard, man. Um, it I feel
But that's why I just can't with the school systems nowadays. It's just I feel like
but
they're pushing the standards too early and they're not letting the kids be kids and
I
learn all these other intangibles that will help them
I
later on.
think I think every decade or century, sorry, like when we went to school, it was totally different.
Yeah,
What we had to know was different because there was no iPhone, there like
yeah.
internet was barely coming out, like there was technology and just advancement, it wasn't there. And then 10 years before us, they're probably finger painting, eating glue, like I don't know what the heck they were doing 10 years before us. Like the kids now going to school, I feel sorry sometimes because
But don't you think and like I can only compare this to sports. I keep going back to sports, but so in sports, I feel like as long as you keep learning the basics and drilling in the basics, the advanced stuff will come. So if you just teach the kids how to read, write, add, and subtract,
I
and
don't
like
think so.
all that other stuff that you're saying, like being good human
Yeah,
beings and all that stuff.
because because you can teach a kid to read,
Uh huh.
but you cannot, if just the pure fact of reading does not prove comprehension. Because we have plenty of kids that are
Okay.
in fourth
Yeah, yeah,
grade,
yeah,
they can
yeah.
read a story perfect, know all the words, know what they mean, but then I
But
tell
they
them,
can't
okay,
comprehend
what's
the
the
story.
story about? They
Yeah.
don't even know what the story is about. I tell them, who's the main characters? Was there a problem that you read in the story? What was
But
the
then
problem in there? How did they
how
solve
do
it? Like
you
they don't.
teach reading comprehension though?
So you have to break it down. So when you read, you have to teach a kid, okay, you read this sentence. I want you to tell me in your own words without reading this what happened in this sentence. So there's different keywords that you can pick out. Like, okay, if you read something, there's Johnny in there. Okay, there's Johnny. So there's obviously talking about Johnny. What are the verbs? Like, did he do something? You have to break everything down, but that's a long process. So I think, I don't
So
know.
at what grade level right now do they need to do they have different levels of reading
Yeah.
comprehension?
So kindergarten, first grade, dude, you're just kindergarten. All you're doing in kindergarten, to be honest, is you're learning your letters, you're learning your sounds, you're knowing that A makes an A sound. Like you're learning the basic sound structure of just reading. You don't really have to know, like it'd be nice if you see bat, like that's how you say bat. And seeing a picture of a bat, that's a bat. You might not have to know, like, oh yeah, you swing this bat or whatever. Like it'd be great, but the point is, when you say BAT, can you sound that out? Because if you can sound those letters out, you can sound out any other word. You don't have to memorize words. There's some words you do have to memorize. That's all kindergarten. And then the soft skills, like understanding, when you're mad, why are you mad? Can you express yourself? Can you tell me why are you mad? Those basic soft skills to understand, like, it's okay to be mad, but how do you handle mad? You can't just be punching people. You have to learn how.
Are those same goals that they're at now? Is that the same goals that we had when we were in kindergarten and first grade?
Man, when I was in kindergarten, I don't even know what I did, bro. I was probably eating paint. I don't know what I did in kindergarten, man. I was freaking 40 years ago, bro.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I feel like it's
I remember 10 years ago what I did.
I feel like it's different. I feel like they're
different.
making them learn things
It
earlier.
is absolutely different. But I think it's different because we cannot teach our kids what we were taught 10 years ago. Because the world has changed. Like, the only same thing that will never be different is obviously reading, comprehension, like that kind of stuff. But I think because there's so much other outside, like I said, like bullying we talked about. When we were growing up, bullying, I just had to be faster than that fat person that was trying to catch me, or whoever was trying to beat me up. I just had to be like, I just have to make sure I see them because I know I can run faster than them, and I'm good. I didn't have to worry about the internet. I didn't have to worry about someone taking a picture of me or taking a video of me and spreading all these lies, writing funny stuff on my face and spreading it. Like, I feel the stress and outside, what's the word I'm looking for? Outside factors that handle onto our kids now at such a young age, it's too much for them. Because think about it, when we went to school, I didn't care about who was on Facebook. I went to school, I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, we went out to go play.
No, but I think that's where you're wrong, though, because when I was going to school, I still got bullied for the clothes I wore, the shoes I had, because I was
but that's all face to face. You know what I mean? Like, I feel nowadays cyberbullying, like, just I feel just as a society we're a little bit more disconnected because of technology, because of social media. I feel as a society we're a little bit disconnected.
Back to teaching the kids how to deal with it, whether it's to your face or on the internet.
Dude, adults have a hard time learning how to deal with it. How are we, like, how hard it is to teach a child? Like, I feel like
I feel like somewhere along the line,
you think to just teach a child, hey, if you get bullied on cyber, suck it up, like, tough up. Like, it's everyone.
It's not just teaching them to just talk, but it's explained. Like, I think it's explained to them that, like, like, they're insecure about themselves, so they're lashing out at people. But it's because, like I said, like I've gotten bullied as a kid, where they're hating you and stuff. But we've learned to deal with it and express ourselves in other ways.
Yeah, but I think because we're so detached with our emotions, it's harder to express, like think about it, dude. No one goes up to strangers, really, to be honest, to be like, hey, how's it going? No one goes up to, like, I feel like, hey, like, everyone's swiping to meet people. Like, everything is digital now. And I feel because of that, we're so desensitized. Sometimes it's hard to, like, talk about emotions, talk about our feelings, it's hard, man. Like, our counselors at my school, I feel for them because I see these kids and I really don't, sometimes I don't know how to help them. Like, they're trying their best. They're talking about their feelings. They're like, hey, you know what's happening at home, whatever's happening, like they're helping them. They're literally therapists, but I feel like they're so young. Like, there's scientific studies that say, like, as a kid's brain, certain things they're not going to be able to comprehend. It's just not. No matter how many times you say it, they're not going to be able to they can regurgitate it. Like, oh yeah, you told me this is what I'm supposed to do, but they're not going to be able to put it into action because their brain isn't fully functioning in that way. And, like, it's hard, man. Like, I feel like you said, I feel like our education system, I don't know how to fix it.
Don't you think part of it could be the school systems, because they're pushing all of these learning stuffs earlier and earlier, that they're stressing the kids out?
To be honest, I don't think any kid is stressed out about learning. At our school, I don't see any kid, like, stressing, titching out, feel like, oh my God, I got to learn ABCs. Like,
well, it could be they don't want to go to school because they're because the teachers are saying that they're not, and it's not smart enough, but it's like in Shazen's classroom they have like
Yeah,
color stuffs, right? Like you were
I
good, bad,
I
but
think kids are more than capable of learning whatever they're learning, because if you rank US compared to European countries, to Asian countries, those same kids are way more, not just academically, but socially more advanced than we are. If you're looking at the spectrum of academics, just everything. Um, so kids can do it, I think, against society. I feel every kid, I don't think kids understand. Like when I went to school, like my parents were like, look, you got to go to school. It's important because you got to go to school to succeed. And I really believe that, whether it was true or not, I believe that to be successful in life, I had to go to do good in school. I had to get A's, I had to get B's, I had to go to college, regardless if it was true or false. I believe that. So I studied, I did whatever it took. Like that's what I had to do. Now, you okay, Ken?
scared me for a second. Like,
I
whoa.
was like, I think now as a society, I don't know if kids value education. I feel like society has put this perception of like, look, I don't have to do good in school. I can do TikTok. I can be a YouTube star. There's so many other avenues where people do idiotic things to make money and be famous. I feel they have this false perception of, you know how hard it is to be a YouTube star? You know how it takes a lot of work to be a TikTok
Yes,
star? I
that
feel
I
they
think
don't.
that is a good point. But I also think that people are starting to realize that the school system is flawed. So you don't need the school system in order to be successful in life now. You just need to work hard, and whether people are explaining that part, that the hard work and the dedication and just putting in all that time, maybe that's not getting portrayed to them. But I think the shift is in the right direction. But I think like anything else, it's just going to be trial and error, and people are going to learn to adapt to it.
I think like I agree. There's certain things in school that I feel like shouldn't be taught. Like there's certain things that I'm like they don't need to know that to succeed in life. Um, but that to me is never gonna go away.
Yeah.
It's. I
And I
wish it
think
would,
I
but
think part
it
of
should
the
never
problem is that people are finding out that there are successful people that weren't successful in school.
Yeah, and
And they
those
didn't get
people
the best grades.
homeschool.
But those
I
people worked the hardest. They had all the other intangibles
yeah,
where they learned to problem solve, deal with things,
I guess
think
I guess what
outside of
I
the
have a
box.
problem is when I see a kid and he's struggling reading, like struggling, like he's a fourth grader, fifth grader, and he has like a second grade or third grade reading capacity. I'm like, I don't think parents understand sometimes the gravity of what it's going to do to their child when they go to middle school, when it's academics is just going to get harder. The text, the words are going to get more complex. And he could barely understand at a third grade level. Do you know what that does to a psych? Like,
But
he's not going to want to learn.
I think at that point that kid just, unfortunately, I just don't think nothing that would have happened where the kid would have helped him get there. I don't think at that
And
point.
and then my point is, because of that, that's why it's so important that in the early ages, kindergarten, first, second, and third, like those are the most critical. Like if they are not at grade level or close to it, 1 year, give and take, because you can make up a year. But once they get to 2 years, 3 years, that's where you, because by the time they get their third grade, dude, kids, I feel like have already made a decision on I'm a good learner, I'm smart, or I'm stupid. Like they've already realized, like, hey, everyone else in the class gets this, but I don't get it. Like they're already having this self identity of, wow, I'm not good at school, so what else can I be good in? And then that's why I think, and again, I don't know how to solve it. Um, we just like at our school, we tutor the bejesus out of our kids after school, during
But see,
school.
I don't
Try
know
to get
if
them caught
that.
up.
I don't know, and I don't know if I was that extreme, but I was never, I was never the smartest in class.
Dude, you said
Um,
you took quizzes without even studying and you passed.
yes,
Make
but
it
I
sound
was
like you're dumb. You weren't dumb. You
No,
just didn't like
I know.
school. You just was
Yeah,
like, look, I get
I
it.
didn't like school, but I was never like I was never the top, like, of the
And you don't
class.
have to be the top.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying. Like I feel like I was on that. Like I always perceived myself as being dumb because people told me that I was dumb.
yeah.
So in the beginning, I thought I was dumb. Like all the way through high school, like Shani will tell you, like I've had teachers literally call me like special and like special. Like they literally would
And like I said, those teachers shouldn't be teachers.
and so like I just, but I feel like something taught me to be, and I don't know what it is, but it taught me to be like um confident in myself that I'll find something that I'm good at eventually.
And
Like
I
you
don't
don't
know
have to
that
be good at everything in life, but you'll find something that you're good at eventually. And I don't know what it was that taught me that, but so like
someone had to instill that in you.
I feel like
Or you
but I
could be
feel
just
like
a prodigy and
so
you just figured it out.
I don't know, I wouldn't give myself that much credit. But I feel like the kids that are behind like you're talking about, I feel like if we're teaching them to like be confident in themselves, and even if they're not getting it, just understanding as long as they keep trying and practicing, hopefully they'll get there. And I mean, if
But
they can't, they can't. Like nothing's gonna help them at that point.
yeah,
Unfortunately, there's
but
people that's gonna need to do certain kinds of jobs that
but the
they're
problem
made
with
for.
that is we're in a system where you have to graduate high school. Or if you don't graduate high school, you better have some type of plan where you have your own business, where you
Yeah.
figure it out. But if you don't have your high school degree, we live in a society where like you're screwed, man.
No, but
Like
I feel like you said
work.
now, like I feel like there's so much people that can be successful without the high school
No,
degree.
that's why I say you gotta have a plan. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
think about this kid that can barely read, and they're going up the system because you're just like, hey, look, you'll figure it out. Just keep trying. You're gonna figure it out. Yep, you would keep doing that, and every school goes by, and he's
But the
not.
problem is you're trying to get everyone to be successful. Not everyone's gonna be successful to that standpoint. Maybe they're gonna be the best person at McDonald's, with the nicest person
But you
that's gonna
still
be
have
very good.
to like. I'm pretty sure you still have to have a high school degree to work at McDonald's.
I don't think so,
Are you sure? I feel
Yeah, you can get jobs out there without high school degrees.
I can be
I know
wrong.
people that dropped out of school early and still can work at like
Yeah. Oh, I
McDonald's.
guess yeah. Teenagers work at McDonald's, so that's true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So
But
unfortunately, for society to work, there's gonna be people that's gonna have to run businesses. We're gonna need people that go to school to be doctors,
true.
and unfortunately, we're
But
gonna need people that are.
I find it hard to believe that anyone growing up strives to say, my goal is to work at McDonald's.
No, it's not. But unfortunately, maybe something
So,
inside of you. Maybe you have a learning disability. Maybe you're just not meant to. Something inside of you just can't
but
hold
learning
another
disability
person.
is totally different. Like if you don't have a learning disability, I feel like as a teacher or just as a parent, as an adult, your job is to help your child succeed in life, whether whatever that is. But if they
That's why
don't have
succeed
basic
could just mean
foundation,
being the best McDonald's worker. Because I've had some shitty McDonald's workers that just hate their
I
jobs. So
agree.
maybe that person, there's maybe succeeding to them will be just the best McDonald's worker
I guess
that shows up to work 7 days a week, that does their job very well, and
I don't know.
makes you when you go to McDonald's, they greet you nicely, and they're just a happy person.
I don't know if I'm a horrible parent, but my kids are not going to work at McDonald's. I'm not going to accept that in life. If 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 I push them and their whole is like, Dad, I'm okay working at McDonald's. That's my life. No, sorry, son.
Well,
We're gonna have an intervention. That shit ain't happening. I did not bring you into this world with me and Diana, bust our ass for you to work at McDonald's. I'm sorry.
even
Hey,
if
but
they're
that's nothing
even-
against people
No,
that
there's
do
nothing.
work.
yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing against that. But I'm saying sorry, that's not no. Like you're 18 years old. That's not. You're not gonna work at McDonald's for 40 years and retire from McDonald's. Like, sorry, that's not
But
happening.
don't you think if they start from the bottom and they really work hard, don't you think eventually, if I mean, and this is a very rare case, but
Exactly.
don't you
They
think
could be a
eventually
manager,
they
own a
could,
McDonald's in their
yeah,
world. I get
yeah.
that. But like you said, that's a very small chance. I would rather focus.
But if I feel like if you instilled them those intangible skills where they're nice, they're like respectful to others, society, they work hard, they're dependable to show up to work on time. You know how hard it is to find employees who freaking show up to work on time
I
now?
guess for me,
So if you have those intangibles, you go to McDonald's, you work your ass off for 20 years for that same
I
freaking company. I'm
I
sure you can get a fucking, if not, be a manager and be shift leader, and still be successful in life and live
I
comfortably.
don't know if it was just, it's probably the way I was raised. I I grew up poor. My family was poor. My dad worked as janitor. He worked all odd jobs. He worked his ass off forever just to put food on the table. I've never seen it. I never saw him. And I don't like, for me, I don't know. I guess I know the life that I have. I know what it took to get there, to have a home, to be able to purchase a home. I know that's not everyone can buy a home, and I feel you know I know how hard it is to succeed in life, and I guess nothing against McDonald's or anything, but I feel like it's going to be harder to get to where you're going that I want my kids to be successful in financially, working at McDonald's. Like, I'm like, you can work at McDonald's in high school. You're gonna learn all those skills, great. And if I see that shit, you're hot shoot, like you're already a manager at 18, go for it. Like, but come on, like, I just sorry, as a parent, I cannot stand there and let my kid waste his 18 to 25 to 30 years of his life trying to figure it out. Like, I I would hope to guide him and or her and be like, look, whatever you want to do, let's try. You want to start your business, I will help you, whether it works or not. I just want you to try. Like, I guess, I don't know, like, I it's like, I don't know if I have this thing over my shoulder where I'm like, my dad worked his ass off, and that's why I'm where I'm at today. It's because the hard work that he did to make sure I was fed, to make sure instill hard work. I saw the hard work ethic in him, is why I'm in the situation that I am now and the man that I am today. Um, I feel like I would have failed my dad if my son and my daughter didn't succeed. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I guess I just feel like I don't want the sacrifices that he made to not come out to anything. I guess, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I think the problem is you're saying succeed, like succeed something like a certain, like you're making it like succeed as like something that you can reach and intangible. Succeed for everyone's different.
It is. So for me, success to me is, I want the Rowe family, the Rowe name. Like, my dude, growing up, like I said, we did not have money. I'm not saying money brings happiness, but it definitely makes life a little easier. And my goal in life, or one of my main goals, is I want the next generations of Rowe family to never worry about money ever again. I want them to have financial freedom to the point where it's like, you want to give money to the poor? Do it. You want to start a nonprofit foundation? Do it. I don't want them to ever think of, I can't do that because I don't have the money. You know what I mean? Like, so that's my goal, to make sure if I can at least alleviate that small, not small, but that
I
point.
think so. I think that's what's where it's different though. So like, I think my goal is to not only like give Shayton that financial stability, but it's to teach him that if he wants something that he can't afford, what is he gonna do to
Oh
either
yeah,
save money or make the money to get to that point?
I'm I'm not saying I'm gonna just, hey son, hey daughter, here's all our money. Take it. Like,
No, I
they're
know,
not gonna know how much money we have.
but I think you're like succeed is like where they don't have to worry about money. I think for me, success would be for them to be able to figure out how to make money that they need.
When I say I don't want them to worry about money, they're obviously gonna work. They're gonna know the worth of a dollar. But we're not gonna tell them, hey, your college is gonna be paid for. Like, they're gonna have to work. But I think I want to have the capacity where if my daughter wanted to start her business, she can come to me and be like, look, I will give you this loan. Go start your business, and let's see how it works out. And then if it does great, awesome. But like, think how powerful your daughters and your sons will be if you taught them the worth of a dollar, hard work, ethic, all that stuff. And a bonus, they had the finances behind it.
But
Like
I
that's
think it's a rare case. I think that's also a rare case
so.
where a lot of those, like a lot of times when they know, when they have that that financial backing, a lot of times they don't understand the worth of a dollar.
I don't think so. I think if you teach them young, teach them worth of a dollar, and they find out that there's money way later down the road and understand the concept of money, where did that money come from? Like our parents worked their ass off to get that money. Um, they're gonna, or that's my goal. I could totally be wrong. They'd be like, oh, my parents are suckers. Like they just gave us all this money. Like I could totally be wrong, but I would hope to think we raised them right. They're gonna be grateful. Like, wow, like this money is here. We're not gonna scourge it away. We're not gonna buy Lamborghinis or whatever, because they're gonna understand the value of money and how it can change lives, generations forward for their families and the future and beyond. Um, I think, because think about it, that's wealth. Like, yeah, Diana's like, you guys are all over the place. I think, yeah, I am all over the place. I just want
But I think wealth does not.
stability.
You're kind of relating wealth as happiness, so is what you're explaining.
No, it's not happiness. Money can make life a little easier. Think about it. Most problems that people have at the end of the day comes down to what? Money. Yeah, it does, bro. Anything when you bring it down to the root cause, it comes down to money. I would say more than half of the time. You can't say no. Name a problem, and I guarantee you I can bring it down to money. Give
It's
me a
the
problem.
choices. It's the
No,
choices that they make. Is
but the choices that they made was because of money.
no.
Give me a problem,
There's
Chris.
a lot of. There's a lot of look. There's a lot of rich
So
billionaire people that
That are
quit their
sad.
job,
Absolutely.
that are miserable, that quit their jobs to
And they
do other
are.
things
That,
because people are putting
yeah.
equating money as happiness.
No, I'm not saying happy. I think your money doesn't make you happy. I say money makes your life easier. A little
But
bit
it
easier.
doesn't. It doesn't. I promise you, money doesn't make it.
You're
So-
equating happiness to easy.
No.
That's not the same thing.
are you saying any problem?
Any problem? Give me a problem, and I will try to bring it down to money.
No, but money does not make it easier though. It does. Money doesn't make life easier.
How does money? So if you get injured, how's money involved?
Well, okay, injuries obviously. Like, okay, wait, it depends.
No.
What kind of injury is it?
No,
Is
say
it a head injury? That you didn't have money to get a helmet, so that's your problem. It was money. There we go. Next problem.
Say you're going on a run and you hurt your knee. You know, that's
probably didn't have money to go to the doctor and get your knee checked out, bro. That person was probably already having knee problems, but he didn't have health insurance because he doesn't have money. So that's what's like, dude, I can't go to the doctor because I don't have the money to pay for it. Let me just go run. Stupid. You should have went to the doctor. That's why we should have all life. That's why medical should be free in this country.
You didn't get hurt because of money. Okay?
No, next one. No, it's not because of money. It's if he had the money. Like, think about it.
The more money you have, the more that just means the more ways they'll be able to figure out how to waste it.
No, that's a bad person with money. A good person
that's
with
95% of people with money.
I don't believe
promise you.
If you are there's a such thing as smart money and dumb money. If you teach someone to be smart with their money, that is life changing. Their life will change. But if what I call dumb money, you put money into things that depreciate, where you get no value out of it, then yes, that's dumb money. But if you teach someone how to invest in smart money, that changes lives.
I don't see money as making life easier.
How do you
the more money you have, the more money you have, the bigger issues you have.
It's because you don't know how to spend money.
Have you heard that
because
song?
You're spending money on dumb things. That's why you have more problems.
It's not even about spending. It's just
how are you having more problems?
It's everything. It's just everything. Like more tax brackets you got to pay. You got to figure out how to beat the tax brackets.
See, and I think that's the issue with people trying to beat the tax bracket. If you make more money and you're smart with your money, you have the money to pay taxes. That's the whole point. Like millionaires are like, oh my God, why do we have to pay? Dude, you're a freaking millionaire. If you make $1 million and you can't afford this much money, your lifestyle is obviously you're making bad choices. You're living outside your means. Like that's, to me, like, again, that's come down to smart money. If you're smart with your money, your life shouldn't reflect chaos. Your life reflects chaos because, like you said, you're making bad decisions, you're making purchases that you probably shouldn't have purchased, and now your life is in chaos. But if you're smart, you don't spend your money, put it in a savings account, invest it, put it in a high yield savings account where you're smart with your money. It's your life. I'm not going to say you're happy, but your life will be easier because, let's say, when emergencies happen, you're not freaking out like, how am I going to pay for that? Oh my God, someone has cancer.
Okay, but you can do that with no money. You can be smart with no money. Like you can
You
live
can,
within your means
but
with
your
no
life
money.
isn't good. Okay,
Well, money is not
let me
going to
bring
make
this
your life
in.
easier.
I have no money.
Life decisions will make your life easier.
Let's bring this scenario. I have no money. I have to send my kid to daycare. How am I going to do that?
You shouldn't have. For one, you shouldn't have had a kid if you didn't have
You
any
should
money.
have kids. You're telling
If you
telling
didn't
every
have
single
money-
person you cannot have kids. That
If
is
you
a
didn't have money to
fundamental
support
right.
your kids, you shouldn't have. All right?
So that's when it comes down to money. So think about it. Why can't you support your spouse or your kid? Probably decisions that you made in school. You probably didn't make good choices. You can't find that job that pays you good money, or you don't have the skills to make money that will pay you a lot of money. So whose fault is that?
It's
You
just
know,
the money. Like I don't think money makes life easier. I totally have to disagree with you.
I'm not gonna say okay, not 100% of the time it's gonna make
Put
it
it
easier,
on blast.
but I would say a good 80% of the time, if you have enough money, I'm not even gonna say life-changing money. If you have enough money and you spend it correctly, your life is gonna be a little bit more easier because you don't have to worry about, do we have money to buy formula? Do we have money to pay the rent? Do we have the money? Oh my God, Johnny has cancer. How are we going to pay for that? Do we have life insurance? Someone passed away. Oh my God, now I have this mortgage that I have to pay by myself. Someone hit so-and-so's in a car accident. My daughter died. There's so many things that happen. I'm not saying that money will bring happiness, but it will definitely bring, I find it hard to believe that money doesn't bring a little bit of ease into your life if you are smart with your money. And I feel like if someone says it doesn't, you're making bad choices with money. That's just how I look at it, because I make good choices with money and I'm putting myself in a situation where I'm like, look, we'll be okay if something happens. Like, we're not rich, and I'm hoping to make better choices to get us into more financial stability. But I know if I had an extra $100,000 in salary, my life would be a little bit more easier because I would be probably able to buy a bigger home. So my parents don't have to work no more. They can live with us. Yeah, they're getting older. Like, I don't have to worry about who's going to take care of them when they can't work anymore. Like, there's all these outside factors, Chris. So, like, if that happens, is it my fault that I can't support my mom and dad? Is it the decision that I made that I can't support them? Who's supposed to support them then? They're old.
It's their decisions, unfortunately.
So it's my parents' fault that they worked for 80 years.
And I would not expect my son to have to take care of me at a certain point. I would not.
And that's your choice. But for me, I feel like they took care of me for most of my life. It's my response. Like, I can't just let my parents be homeless. Hey, you're stupid. You should have known better. Like,
yeah, but also I would be comfortable with them living at any house I had, even if my kids had to sleep on the couch, or if it doesn't, like, I just don't think like that extra $100 to buy bigger. Obviously, everyone wants more money, yes.
Yeah.
But I think people need to stop chasing more money and just be happy in the process of where they're at and where they're growing to. But I just don't think money. I think everyone in general is just like too caught up in like getting more money, getting more money, getting more money.
I think if we didn't
not just living in the present.
I think if we didn't live in a society where we have to have money to have things like food. So, like, yes, we don't have to eat nicer foods. We can eat ramen noodles every day for the rest of our lives, but that's not obviously healthy. We'll probably die in the next 40 years from cancer, because that's processed food and it's not good for you. Yes, you can do it, but why do it if there's a bet? Everyone should be eating healthy, not because they can't afford it. People don't eat healthy because they can't afford it. Sorry, that it comes down to, it's not because they don't want to eat healthy. If you can afford healthy food, people would eat healthy. They wouldn't eat fast food. It's cheaper to get fast food, but it's not healthy for you. Why do they do it? Because they don't have the money. It's cheaper to get fast food. Like,
you don't think it's just more convenient for the people that you said that have to work 3 jobs that don't have time?
It's cheaper. I guarantee you, if you had enough money to buy groceries and you had a good job where you can get off work, cook,
But
people
you're not gonna have that job where you can get off early if you're making that money.
8 hour
Hey,
job.
I just want to say, hey, junk food's not cheap, bro. I'm just letting you know
No,
right now.
Okay,
Junk
it's
food's
more
not cheap.
convenient than anything. Like
but
who
it's
has the
cheaper than
time to
healthy
cook
food,
anything?
right?
No,
A plate
No,
lunch
not
it
is
comes down to
necessarily.
time, bro. Like you were
No,
just
not
saying, like it comes down to
necessarily.
time.
Yeah,
Like no one has time to make the food.
I that it's my take. I I get your point.
bro.
It's
I spent $30 on just me and D. Okay, that
you're a lot of I
junk
I
food
would have spent
ain't
30 bucks
cheap.
on something else.
Junk food's expensive.
You,
It's
I
more of
can
a
buy
convenience
healthy
factor
food
because people
for
don't have
cheaper.
time to make the
That's
food.
I don't know. Like, okay, when I say healthy food, obviously you can buy carrots for less than 30 bucks, but you're
No,
not gonna
but
get
I'm talking about cooking at home in general, like
yeah.
cooking at home versus buying out.
Yeah.
No one has time to cook at home.
No one wants to put in the time. You're telling me no one has an hour of their day when they get home, kids go to sleep. You're telling me no one has that 1 hour of the day to prep or cook. Like Dinah does it, we do it. It's just they don't want to do it. Yeah. And now every circumstance is a little different. Some people might work 3 jobs, they're tired. Like I get it. That is an outlier. But for every normal family, it's either they don't have the money to do it, where they can buy those groceries and cook how they want, or they don't know how to cook. So they're like, how do I budget? How do I like
I
some
think if
people,
you did a
Diana's
survey,
great
I
at buying
think
groceries
90% of
and
people
knowing how
would
to
just not
make
have the
stuff.
time.
It's you got to make time. If it's important and health is good for you, you got to make time. You know, and if health isn't important to you, then it's more convenient for you to eat health, like, junk food. Good luck, because in 30, 40 years, you're gonna regret it. And I'm regretting it now because I eat junk food all the time. That's why I'm trying to eat more healthy. I'm trying to cut out fast food. I'm trying to cut soda because I know in my 40s and my 50s and 60s, I don't want to have diabetes. I don't want to have hospital bills where like so many. Dude, health is the one thing. No matter if you have money or not, health doesn't care. Your health doesn't care. You could be the most fittest. Health will come at you when you least expect it.
That's why money does not make easier.
You're telling me not money doesn't make easier in any situation. That's the thing I
In
have
most
a problem with you
situations,
saying, Chris. Like,
everyone
money
that
will never make any situation easier. I'm trying
well
to
not
compromise and say, like, yes, money's not. I'm not saying money's gonna make everyone happy, but it is. I find it hard to believe if you had $100,000 fall in your pocket, you're not gonna be like, fuck, I'm gonna have more problems now. No, you're gonna be like, wow, I can maybe pay off a little bit more debt, put this into my company, put ourselves in a little better situation. I'm good. That's
yeah,
all I'm saying. Can you agree with that?
yes,
Okay,
but
we're good.
I think the fact that you're chasing after that money, that you're trying to put like you're it almost sounds like you're equating success to money is almost what you're sounding like though.
I'm equating success to financial freedom in a sense of where I don't want my kids to worry about money, not in a sense where they're snobby little rich kids. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say if they have money and they want to help someone, they have the freedom to be like, wow, do we have this money? No, you want to help someone, you have the money, go help them. You want to start a nonprofit, go help with them. Like, I don't see what's wrong with that.
But the
Where I
problem
want
is
my
once
kids
you
to
have money,
understand,
you're always worrying about money though. It's a problem. Like you
no,
have money, you're always worrying
you're
about getting
smart with
more
your
money.
money, man.
You're
If you
always worrying
understand
about
the
getting more
concept
money,
of
more
money,
money.
no, if you're smart with your money, you don't worry about money. If
No,
Okay.
people,
you're always because once you're in that mindset, like you're just building and building and building, and you're always worrying about money.
Okay.
I don't think like that. So that's on me.
Okay. We can talk
Yeah.
about this
Yeah.
all night. Okay. But I'm just gonna interject and say, you know
Well, what
what?
is your take, Kevin? Because you haven't
Just
said
do
anything.
CrossFit. Just do CrossFit.
No, no.
Okay.
What is your
Do
take on
CrossFit.
money,
That will solve everything.
Kevin?
Okay.
I
Solve
want a
everything.
legit answer from you. No middle ground. I want a legit answer on this topic of money.
This is like totally off subject. What we
No,
guys
it
were
is not
talking
off
about
subject.
earlier.
What is your take
No,
on?
what you guys were
Does
talking
money
about
make
earlier.
your
I'm
life
just
a little
saying what you were
easier?
talking about.
I want an answer to that. Does money make your life a little easier?
Look. I will say this. Okay, you definitely need money to live life. Okay,
Yeah,
I will say that.
Kevin,
Yes.
that is the weakest answer. Like that's like saying, dude, should we eat healthy food or not? Guys, we need
You
to
need
eat
money.
food to survive.
You need money to
You lucky
survive.
you're on this. I
There
want
you
to
go.
punch you in the throat.
There you go.
That is not
You
a
need
freaking
money
answer.
to
Oh
survive.
my god.
No, I'm that means I'm agreeing with you. I'm
You're
agreeing
not
with you.
agreeing with it. That
I'm
I Chris, that wasn't
I'm
even my
agreeing with you.
point. I didn't even say you need money to survive. Dude,
Yeah, no,
Maddie knows
because
you need money to
hence
survive.
hence
Like,
money makes your life easier, right?
you tell me.
No,
That's
I'm
what I
just
said.
saying. I'm saying you need money to survive, and money makes your life easier to survive.
Yeah. And again, I'm not
Oh,
saying every time it makes it easier, Chris. I understand that. I really understand your point on like you don't want to chase money. Money's not everything in the
I just
world.
have this. I feel
Family's
like
important.
everyone's just always chasing money, and
But
like money's
I think
making
for
life
me,
easier. I
I
think so. Wait. So with that thought process, if you tell someone money makes life easier, they're gonna straight go to like, I just need money. I need money.
dude,
I need
I'm
money.
never gonna tell my kids money makes their life easier. Like I would never tell them that. I think for me, growing up to think like I grew up thinking if I spend this money, I can't eat anything tomorrow. I don't ever want my kids to know what that feels like.
I
That's
think the problem is you need to think to yourself, if I spend this money, I need to figure out how I'm gonna get the next money for the next meal. I think is where your thought process goes
but
wrong.
not everyone's situation is like that, Chris.
But
We have poor
you need to
people
train people
and
to
homeless
think that
people.
way though.
Dude, you can tell a homeless person that, oh, I only have $10, but if I spend this, I got to figure out how am I going to make this. They're homeless, bro. Like, how are they going to make, like, everyone's situation is different. It's easy to say, like, yeah, I spend this $10. You better figure out how to make more money to have, dude, that's the question to life. But it's
no,
not, everyone's situation is not that easy.
the
They need to have that thought process though, instead of, if I spend this, I won't have anything for the
But
next month.
having the thought process and being able to do it is a whole different thing. The whole
But
concept of
but
homeless.
that starts it though. Your thought process starts it, and because you're thinking, if I spend this money, I won't have money.
It's
That's the
because
wrong thought process.
it's because I know no money's coming in. It's like I don't have a job. I'm looking for a job, but if I
But you need to figure out how it's gonna like. You need to figure out how to generate what's gonna come in. Then is
and
what you
you
need to
do
start
have to
thinking.
generate that, but not it's not as easy as dude, you just go get a job because every situation is a little different.
But
look,
I feel like the thought process. I'm not saying it's easy, but the
Yeah,
thought process needs to be there to think, instead of thinking, "Oh, I can't spend this because I don't. That's my last dollar." You want to think, okay, how, if I spend this, how am I going to get more dollars? Is
but what
what
if
you
you're
want to be
starving?
thinking.
right. Okay, you know what? Both you guys have your own point of views. Okay, all right. All I really want to know is what was your guys' scores on 23.1? Okay,
Chris didn't
like
freaking do his CrossFit workout, and if he says he did, he's a liar. Because I asked him. Like, "Hey, did you do that work?" He's like, "Hell no, I didn't do that workout." So if Kevin, if you did it, oh, he
no,
freaking
I
did.
didn't do it. I didn't do it. I'm just trying to break. I'm just trying to break the conversation
Dude, I love
because
Chris. I have, dude.
I no, I'm just saying we're like going on an hour 20 right now. Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
We have like 5 months of conversations to
yeah, we
catch
Yeah.
up
didn't
on
talk
everything.
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
really like
We
kids
could
or anything. We just
yes.
talked about
So
money
we could
because
do that next week. But for this week, we will end it here. Appreciate everyone for listening or watching.
wait,
Um,
Kevin, I just gotta make sure. Is
yes.
it only you coming to the birthday party, or is D gonna come too?
Wait. Let's talk about that after we get
Okay.
off the podcast. But yeah, so thank you everyone for watching or listening. Look forward to another great episode next week. This is the Faddah Figures signing off.
Shoots.